Right. So, Matthias, I have a question about that PC card memory emulation. You did it. So, what was the stage of on the official version you released? Is it working or is still thing to do?
In the official version, it
Because I
doesn't
never.
work yet.
All right.
The current Windows version that I just talked about will have this slipped in.
All right.
But I still have to write a manual or probably do a YouTube video on how to copy a PCMCIA card into a file that then can be read and written.
All right. Okay.
Mhm.
Because I wish to try it with my uh, stuff.
Okay.
Cool. Right. So we have more people. Hi, Jamie. And Milts XR. If you wanna talk, guys, you just need to unmute yourself because by default you are all muted. So feel free to unmute yourself if you wanna
Yeah,
do
now
so.
I got it. Hello, this is Niels.
Hi,
Hello, hello.
hello, hello. Right. So let's wait for other people, and we can. But meanwhile, we
Oh,
can chat. Yeah.
how was it going 2 weeks ago? What were you guys talking about?
Um, I just managed to record partially what we did, so I put on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure if you have a chance to see. It's Apple Newton Fun
Oh, okay.
on YouTube, so you can find me. Or I just put
All
on
right.
Slack. If you visit Slack, you can see I always after the meeting always put the link to YouTube. So it's about hour because obviously I forgot to press record at the beginning. But this time I just set up Zoom to record automatically. So I'm gonna cut out unnecessary things later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that was yeah, like general stuff because last meeting was a few months ago, like a half year or something like this. Let me check. The previous one. Uh, Let me check. 5 months ago. So that was 25th August last year, something like this. So previous
Wait,
one. So yeah,
it's that
mm,
long ago. Oh my God.
yeah. Time's flying. Time's flying.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, we just meet 2 weeks ago because that was like a last minute. Yeah, I just figured out. Oh, we still have a lockdown. Let's do the let's do the meeting. Yeah. So that was short time to get, but yeah, I think like 10 12 people came, so that was what was really fun. We just chat a few things, for example about Einstein, and some people just show they just installed I think the newest version you release on some kind of Samsung Android smartphones, and they said it's working really fine. So my plan, I ask him more details about this because my plan is buy finally my first Android smartphone in my life. So yeah, because I just realized um, I start using iPhones, and from the iPhone number one, I have only iPhones, so I'm like a monothematic actually. And my previous phone was Nokia, very old classic phone. So yeah, so I need to look into Android. And
Yeah,
Mark,
I was about to ask if you lose some bets for that to doing that or what.
what do you mean?
Oh, usually it's tough to switch, yeah, because it hurts if you're
Between
using only
smartphones,
iPhone.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, for me, I need only basically I'm not sure like you guys, but for example, I'm not using smartphone like a phone actually. I'm not calling, very rare, maybe few minutes every month, but it's like a personal terminal for the internet basically at this moment. Yeah, because it's sometimes it's easier for me to catch people over the social media than call them, yeah. And yeah, and it's working like that usually, yeah. So and but I'm not very demanding user, so iPhone works for me perfectly fine, so I have no reason to switch, yeah. So that was Matthias, back to the 2 weeks ago, yeah, topics. That was pretty much, and maybe a few other details. But like I said, the video is on YouTube
Okay.
channel. I'm gonna put maybe address on the chat. So if someone wants to watch, yeah, you should see the video. That was session number 7. Yeah, and we just spent a fun time, yeah. We also have a real good chat with Artur, my friend from Poland. He just get a few months ago from me his first e-mate, because he's a very old Apple user, but he never have a chance to play with Newton. But he's like a electronic magician, and he doing a lot of stuff like you, Matthias, for example, with that ROM interface, etc. So actually, he managed do that Bluetooth module. We chat before about this. You know that Bluetooth module allows to connect with the modern computers without any software. So he did it, and I sent him also device called Serial Box. I'm not sure. That was, if you know, that was kind of device you could connect to eMate, and to the other side of this device you could connect kind of sensors like a probes, for example temperature or humidity or pressure, whatever. There was plenty of uh, that was manufactured, I think, in United States for the school purposes. And yeah, I managed to buy a bunch of that devices, like a 10 of them for $40.
Wow.
So yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how it's working, and Arthur actually trying to figure out how it's built, the protocol of the transmission of the signals from the probes,
Mm.
because the software exists. The software is called eProbe, and it's a really nice software working over the serial port. So the software exists. So if Arthur will try to figure out how the device sending the data, we could build a modern version of this, like based on Arduino or something like this, and attach actually basically any sensor type and measure the values. Yeah. So yeah. So
Yeah.
kind of interesting project. Yeah.
Well, that should work. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, we try to figure out the way how to measure the speed of Einstein on the Android smartphones. How to compare the speed to the
Mm.
original Newton, because
Yeah.
some of people like you, for example, you have very powerful smartphone. So it's faster than original. It's working faster than original Newton on
Uh,
your mobile phone or not, Matthias?
Um, I think it is a tad faster,
All right. Okay.
but I have no numbers or anything. I
Yeah,
haven't
so we
really.
try to figure out. I mean, the best method is just, do some task on Newton and the smartphone in the same time and just compare, yeah, how it's working, yeah. Because there is no, as far as I know, there's no kind of software to, like do the Newton benchmark or something like this, yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe something exists.
Hmm. Isn't the Newt test program?
It gives you only the processor speed,
Yeah,
basically,
it
I
gives you
think.
the iterations. If you run Newton script, it runs a very simple Newton script.
All right.
Counts the iterations. It's not really representative for all over power, but it's a
At
it's a
least.
hint.
Yeah. We don't expect, like a very precise measurement, but yeah, we try to figure out. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never really thought about that. I've used this new test and it was okay, just to give me a general idea. I've done a little bit of profiling and to see where most of the time is spent. and it's in the just-in-time compiler. So the interpretation of the ARM commands just takes its time, and there's really it's very difficult to optimize that. And so yeah, I guess time will just make the processors faster, and that's how we get Einstein will perform better.
I mean, I think it's if we have the same speed like original Newton, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, even if it's a little slower, it's fine by me. Yeah, because we don't need to, we don't need to have very fast device in this. So yeah,
Yeah, I would like to. The advantage of optimized code is also that for every ARM CPU command, and right now you probably run 100 commands on the emulator, and the less I run, the longer the battery lasts as well. So
yeah,
it's useful, but it's again, it's really difficult to get into details, and I'm sure others have done this and have great performance. But yeah, optimizing the interpreter is quite a task.
yeah. Right. Cool. Oh, very nice. Corona, yes. I have a water only. My stomach getting crazy last month, so I'm forced to completely just give up on any alcohol. So yeah, but soon, right?
Well, it's
Um,
my way of showing this crazy crisis that I can deal with it. And
yes,
I had we have really nice. We have food delivery now since we're not supposed to go outside and all this. And I had my food delivered, and the guy who delivered it, he was laughing when he took out the six pack with Corona.
yeah, yeah. I uh, I just gained a few kilograms during that time. It's crazy time. How you
Yeah.
doing, other guys? How you doing during that COVID situation? Is that kind of big impact on your life? I mean, it's kind of impact for everybody, but um, how it's affecting, for example, your daily schedule? Because mine is
It's
affected.
all
Yeah,
it's all Blur's day.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I largely telecommuted before the epidemic, so it didn't make a huge difference there. But I always liked, going out on the weekends and enjoying things. And we haven't really done that for almost a year now. But with the recent regime change in the USA, I'm a little more optimistic about the future now, and I think it'll just be a matter of time before I can get back to that. Looking probably the end of the summer, I think, maybe before some form of normalcy is restored. But yeah, it's definitely been difficult. When it first started, I thought, oh wow, I'll have all sorts of time to devote myself to projects and focus for a change, and it hasn't happened.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same, Jamie. At the beginning was, oh, I will have much more time because my work usually was, like running from the class to class at college and, helping the students and the lecturers like a technical, tasks. But yeah, they closed completely the campuses. So I started working online and I thought, oh, I will have much more time because I'm not uh, I'm not, limited. I can do during I have a break or no one wants anything from me. I'm basically free, and so I can do some my stuff. Yeah. So I have on my corridor like a bunch of boxes, and they waiting like a half year now to sort out because I just took them out from my Newton cave, and yeah, they are there waiting, still waiting. So yeah, it's crazy.
It's same for me actually. I missed the most. I missed the people in the office. You know, it's really tough to do that kind of meetings. Are never really giving back this physical meetings. So to be
Yeah.
honest, for me, it's the toughest part is that I really sometimes need to get back to the office and just work with people there, but physically, not remotely. So I
Yeah.
would say that's the probably the toughest part. And Poland isn't really so bad right now. I would say it's slowly stabilizing, but still, everything is closed, so you cannot go with friends for a grab a beer or just sit in the restaurant and chat. And this is something which I really love to do because I mean it's best way to meet new people or interact is it's right now not possible like that. So I was really happy when Piotr sent me the link to the meeting because it's kind of total accident basically. I'm here today, and I chatted with him on the emails about something totally different, but it's really cool actually.
So, Shimon, because you're actually new in our group, let's say, so could you tell us your short story about how it's happened that you're here with us?
Yeah, sure. That's that's basically part. Okay, part is because of pandemic, because my girlfriend gave me for Christmas Macintosh Classic, and basically what happened, I just I'm Mac user since I remember basically like 20 something years. So, but I was always working on the different models since then, and it was just going there and there. But the Mac Classic just bring a lot of fun and memories and stuff. So when looking for some cabling and for some additional stuff to fix or to make it more useful, because it was actually running, but it was missing some cables, and it was a really broken hard drive there. So I made it back online, let's say. But looking for the parts, I noticed a message pad on the eBay, and that was a device I still remember when I was small boy. I was looking over the window of the shop that I want that kind of device, even though that time it was for me completely useless because I mean, as a small boy didn't need a calendar and a personal assistant at that point, and it was very rare. As Piotr Paweł know probably in Poland, it was very rare device. It wasn't really. I mean, I
And
know in one place
extremely expensive, yeah. For us in Poland,
exactly.
that was like
It
buying
was
two
crazy.
cars, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Right.
totally, I mean, beyond an accessible level of
For
pricing.
normal people, obviously, yeah.
Exactly, it was crazy expensive, but even though it was really tough to get it. Also, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Special
knew
special
one place.
order or something like this, yeah. As I remember,
Exactly,
yeah, the dealer, Apple dealer, the one and only one Apple dealer in Poland could order, and that usually took as I remember, like almost half year to get that
to get it.
device,
Yeah,
and you need to pay in front 100% of the price, and they then wait like a half year, and maybe you could get it, yeah, from
maybe
yeah.
exactly.
So
So
that was crazy.
yeah, remembering that part when I noticed a message pad on the eBay, I basically clicked immediately. It was like a few setting, and after I don't know how much is it right now, like 1 month, I already have a message pad to 2100 and 2000. So I have two of them right now, and looking for some network card. I managed to find Pavel, and that's the way I'm here today. So that's pretty funny story actually.
Nice. So by the way, Wi-Fi card is on the way. So yeah, I sent to Shimon a Wi-Fi card to make it. But the best thing you should, if it's possible, my suggestion is to buy separate tiny, very old Wi-Fi access point, like a maybe old version of Airport Express or something like this. Because the modern one you cannot set up without the encryption. But with the Newton card, the best way is working without or with the WEP encryption. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
the only way you can connect. Yeah.
I got it already actually because
Oh, right. Okay.
I also own the G3 clamshell laptop still,
Yeah.
which is having similar issues
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
airports at
Yeah.
the time wasn't really able to use the encryption. So
Yeah. So,
that's cool. Yeah, indeed.
right. Okay. So we have a new Newton user in our group, guys. Nice.
Still happening. Still new users coming.
Yes. 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 A lot of people. A lot of people.
Yeah, but I was
coming.
actually amazed how big the community and how much of the stuff you can find on the device so old. Yeah, I was telling my friends in here in Poland, because they was asking, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I showed them the Newton, and I was really surprised that the device so old is still up and running, and you can actually find a new applications on it, and it's doing a great job still. Yeah, and I mean, one of my colleagues, which is developer, he looked on the recognition of the handwriting, and he said, I mean, this is better than any device which is right now. Basically, I mean, okay, not true fully, but considering the time when they made it, it's really quite cool. Yeah. So but not much people know that the device actually existed. That's something. That's again my experience from the childhood that I seen the stuff I always wanted. It's just right now easier to make these dreams kind of happen, but a lot of people have no clue that Apple actually did the device like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it was even expensive in the US. I remember that I got a relatively early device and I paid almost $1,000 for it, and then the developer kit was supposed to cost another thousand. So that kind of ruined it for me. And I was working as a software engineer, so I still found it very expensive.
True.
Yeah, that's true. And in that time, $100 was a small fortune in Poland, I think.
I
Even
bet,
yeah,
yeah.
even yeah.
It was indeed.
Yeah. I need to actually ask a few people with the older date people if they remember what was what the $1,000 was worth like a 25 years ago in Poland. I need to chat with the older one from my family and ask him. Yeah. So
Well, I
speak
think
about
my cars back then, as you said, the device was as expensive as two cars. I do remember that I bought two cars for $500, but those were Beetles, so doesn't probably count.
No, now they are worth fortune. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And we have Andy Zott. Hello. The new user, I think, or not. I don't know. I don't remember everybody. Okay, so speak about the software. I'm gonna try to show you quickly something I want to share, but please give me a moment. I need to log in on my crazy Raspberry Pi web server. Do, do, do. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen for a second with you. Okay, you should see my Finder window. Am I correct?
Yes,
Correct.
indeed.
Yes. So this is my kind of repository. Partially, it's a kind of that folders here. It's a kind of temporary mirror on of UNNA server from the state from 2015, but I think there's not big difference between 2015 and now. But I also have some folder called Newton Software CD. So here, if you are interested, you have bunch of images, ISO or DMG images I managed to get to make on my own from my CDs I have, and some of them I also get from the other users. So yeah, I'm gonna give you address for those of you who don't have address. Feel free to make a copy because yeah, I think a bunch of interesting software you can find him, and also I get, like you see, a few kind of personal CD images from users. For example, Grant sent me like a three of his kind of software collection CDs. So quite unique stuff. And I get a few days ago from Michael also few images. I think Matthias, that can be interesting for you because that user is from Germany also.
Yeah. I can
So
tell already by the titles. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, okay. So you probably know that, yeah. But
Yeah. The first title doesn't mean die Newton. It means
yeah,
the Newton.
the Newton, yeah.
No death
Die.
wishes.
So if you run that program, you Newton will die. No, I'm joking. Right. So yeah. So feel free, guys, to download. I think there is a few interesting stuff. I never tried it before, but for example, Uni FEP CD is quite interesting because it's a like a Japanizing your Newton or something like this.
Oh,
So the interface can make your Newton like a Japanese version. Quite interesting to play with.
that's
Uh,
quite a collection. Cool.
yeah, so it's usually most of the ISOs are like just direct copy of the CDs. I want to preserve that because some of the CDs, I have few CDs, they are not readable at this moment. So um, I just lost them. Yeah, I have a physical, item, but not any of my CD or DVD devices can read it. Yeah, so but I'm gonna paste in a second address to that server, so feel free to make a copies. I also have a plan to do the same with the floppy disk, but this is quite tough because most of the floppy disks are dead now, unfortunately. Yeah, some of them still
I can
working.
help you out with that one because I'm fighting with my classic doing that actually because
Yeah,
it's indeed quite tough and it's even harder when it comes to the file system because it's not supported on the Macs anymore. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's easier to do this on G3s because they still have a support in Tiger there for the HFS,
Wow.
and on the Linux is pretty shitty support for the HFS. So if you have images on the old Macs floppies, it's pretty tough to kind of. I mean, as I said, I was trying fighting with the Mac Classic for quite some month and a half, and it's a really interesting. Actually, is the fact that you can still buy the new floppies on the online, packed and with the foil and brand new, but the technology is really dying because they're not really handling well. Yeah, they really getting wasted quickly. So the data is actually evaporating basically from them, as you said. But
yeah.
we can try to work on it because I was again for last month I was doing strange things to get some data from the floppies into the
All
floppies.
right. Okay. So it's good to know.
Open to help you out. Yeah.
All right. Great. Cool. I mean, anyway, it's better to have a kind of like a ISO, images or something, because I can see for the classic, vintage Mac, people just install inside the kind of adapters like for hard drives, the SD or
Got it
SSD.
also.
Yeah. Or I saw that was quite interesting because someone made a kind of device you can connect to old SCSI connector, and you can use kind of micro SD card or something like
Yeah, exactly that.
So
Exactly
it's
that one I bought. It's
all
really cool
right.
because it's actually emulating it's emulating the floppy
The
drive or
floppy,
hard
yeah,
drive
yeah,
connected through the SCSI port. So
yeah,
you can boot up the Mac without harming the drive or using the drive. But
yeah,
actually, as you said, it's a SD card with the images, so it's a little more convenient to manage it faster than the floppy.
yeah.
But still, a lot of stuff is on the floppies
On the
somewhere.
floppies, yes, yes, yes.
So the
That's true.
transferring from the floppies to the SD card
Yes,
is something
yeah.
which is useful because in a few years time probably it's just gonna be worse and worse because it's really the magic the
The time, I think the time, the magic, yeah,
time
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But we have quite huge repository thanks to Morgan. We have a very huge repository of the Newton software. So yeah, and it's a really great we have that, because technically we can use it very very easily with them, even with the modern computers with the Newtons. We can connect Newton to the modern computer and it's working really great, at least Mac, on a Mac OS. So yeah, so I think it's really great we have it.
Yeah, I wish sometimes that when they've invented all those media, they would have told us a little bit more about how long they last. I mean, I had tons of VHS tapes. They're all noise now. I had floppies. Yeah, floppies are all gone. There's probably not a single one you can read. All the CD-RW are done, and so yeah, people have family albums on those and they're all gone, and their kids pictures and their wedding movies, and well, sometimes it's good when they're gone, but all those things. And I keep telling, I have a group, every year I keep telling them, if you have media, copy it over to the next device. You get SD cards and USB sticks now with like a quarter terabyte without a single moving part in it. And all the photos you do within a year easily fits on half of that drive. So you buy a new one every year and then it doubles, and eventually you have everything on one stick. And if it fails, you go back one stick and it's fine. That's just really important. And they kept forgetting to tell us, and people thought CDs would last forever.
No,
Well,
no. Only the best one, the high quality one, they they probably would survive, because I have a few CDs with the Newton software. They are dead.
yeah.
Not any even one of my CD readers can read that. Even I have a few old one, like a very slow, like a speed times two
Mm.
to read
Yeah.
that, but they cannot, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
funny. Some of the CDs cannot be read by the modern very fast readers,
Mm.
but they can still work on the slow one. Yeah, so I still have that
Mm.
one from Apple that you need to use the caddy to put in. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm still using that one sometimes. Yeah, because this is the only one can read some of the old, very old CDs. This is funny, but it's working like that. Yeah. So yeah, I have the same with the VHS tapes, like you said, Matthias. Yeah, I asked
Yeah.
my father because he have a huge collection. I just bought them a VHS player, the new one, kind of, with a very good shape, and I just bought them the grabber card and told them just play, press record, and you can go leave it. Yeah, to make a copy. Yeah. So yeah, he's doing that. Because he bought a years ago like a VHS video camcorder, yeah, and he record basically my childhood on that. So I
Yeah.
thankfully I have my childhood on the now on the digital as a digital copy. Yeah.
Yeah, I had some DV tapes, digital video. That's
Hmm.
tiny, really small tapes, and I was mad back then that the tapes are so expensive.
Yeah.
And by now, I'm really happy because they're very good quality, and I was actually able to save 20 of those tapes. And then I have a camcorder, and it's really funny. The camcorder has like the firewire, the small firewire pin, and then you have to buy an adapter to a 6-pin firewire. Then you have to buy an adapter from that to Thunderbolt, and then you have to buy an adapter from Thunderbolt to USB-C, and then you're actually able to digitize it. And I was surprised it worked so well. I remember in the old days, the data that came out of this DV recorder was so much that the PC could not handle it. And now the laptop's like, is that all you're throwing at me? And it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, but funny thing is that actually, if you look on the SD cards, it's I mean, it's gonna be the same, but the problem is we're losing the control, yeah, because also because the SD cards gets damaged. I'm using a lot of SD cards on the cameras or on the drones, and they can be, you can buy a really poor quality, which is basically damaged, and wow, that's a cool one.
uh,
Trying to figure out how to show you that. Yeah. So
nice.
I bought
Nice.
that a few months ago to just digitize, let's say, make a digital copy of my bunch of micro mini DV and DV tapes, because I have like I don't know, 700 of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was crazy. I bought, when I finally could afford, I bought really good mini DV camcorder, and I record everything around me. Yeah, when I was younger. So yeah, I'm trying to, because some of them are also now maybe um, a lot of artifacts when I play it. Yeah, so they are partially destroyed. But yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't have any dropouts at all. I was able to record all the mini DV over to the Mac.
All
It's
right.
pretty good. I was
So
surprised. I
good
didn't think.
quality tapes. I remember I
Yeah,
bought.
yeah. Since I originally, well, I didn't record as much as you did already, obviously, but since I came from the pro end, I did buy expensive tapes.
Right. And I
But
did mistake, and I bought a bunch of the really cheap one, and this is the reason why probably some of them are. Yeah. It's funny because Tao, you mentioned about the cassette tapes, like a music, the old one from the music players. I read a few days ago kind of article that they coming back actually. People still wants to have a classic players, and like I think it's like with the vinyls. A lot of people still listen music, in a classic way. So yeah, last year over 180 or 160% the selling the classic cassette tapes increase in United States. So people start I don't know, buying the classic cassettes, yeah, and listen in the very old way. Oh, we have another user in our group. He just built his own kind of um, table for the vinyl player. Noah. Noah did it a few months ago, yeah, and he started listening the vinyls. This is nice, low
well,
quality, very
even my
nice.
kids at 15 and 17, they both bought a record player and they're playing vinyls and think it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cassette tapes were cheap. Yeah, that's true. That was actually Shimon in our, when we were young, the cassette tapes was the I think most interesting stuff, yeah, and
Yeah.
cheapest, really cheapest in
Yeah,
Poland,
the
yeah.
cheapest way to get on the
Yeah.
music. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
was talking yesterday with my friend. We was celebrating because he has a son. Was born last week, so we was with the old Polish traditions, sitting with some vodka and celebrating. But I remember that we was actually yesterday speaking about that. That I still remember that I was using. The first computer I got was ZX Spectrum +2, which was having a tape to just load the data. And in Poland, there was, at least in my city where I was living, there was a radio audition where they was broadcasting games in the evenings, so we could record the game from the radio. And I was speaking with him that he was actually sitting, with the recorder next to the speaker because the microphone was really shitty, and if it was not really peaceful enough, it was damaging the recording, so he wasn't able to play the game. And he was sitting like 60 minutes in front of the speaker and just showing everybody to keep quiet.
Yeah.
So that was really crazy. If you're speaking about that kind of stuff right now to my kids, they don't get it.
Yeah.
There was games on the radio and on the tapes or whatever. That's pretty amazing. But indeed, I still remember that stuff. It was pretty cool.
I
Yeah, they
remember
had
that
those.
Yeah, Matthias, continue.
They in Great Britain you could get those very thin vinyls that were inside of magazines, and you could use those and put games on your Spectrum. And I just saw they have great modules that go into the expansion port, and they also read from SD card. And so you can copy all your tape files over, and the expansion port then pushes those files directly into memory. So you have no loading times, and you can play all the Spectrum games.
Wow.
So there are tons of developers out
Cool.
there for that.
Cool. Yeah, actually, the device Pavel mentioned is brand new. That some guys in US are actually doing this all the time with the SCSI port to SD card, and they send me this back to Poland in a 1 week time. It's manufactured right now, but it's really cool development because it's actually able to emulate all the old classic Macintoshes floppy drives. So you can choose if it's Lisa or Macintosh Classic or LS2 or whatever, and it's basically just come up as a regular device for the operating system. So as you said, Matthias, it's amazing that people are actually doing that still. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean that's new for me, at least. I know you guys long having these meetings, so but for me it's pretty cool that that you can have a easy way to meet other people which are interested in keeping that kind of stuff alive. It's really cool. So thanks for that, guys.
Shimon told us his story, but we never heard Andy's story. Andy, do you wanna say a few words about your, story related with the Newton? How it happened? You become a Newton user and owner. We don't hear you. If you're talking, we don't hear you.
He said he had no microphone or camera.
All right. Okay. Right. Okay. So you can tape on the chat something, yeah? I wish to change a little topic because actually, if we have two new users, maybe they have some questions. Shimon, do you have some questions? I'm pretty sure you did a proper research, but maybe you have some questions about Newton, or you need a kind of help or something.
they're helping me already with the Wi-Fi card, and
right.
I crawling on the repository actually with the images you mentioned. I already found it, so kind of going through that one. And as I mentioned to you on the yeah, what I managed to do actually is connect this to the Raspberry RS port, and that's the way I can push the data there. Because the devices I bought on the eBay was basically completely bare. There was no any extra drivers, any modern software. So I wasn't really able to use the compact flash reader, which I own also, to load files, and that's why RS through the Raspberry help out. But yeah, slowly getting there. So I have no current questions which are on my mind to
All right, okay.
just ask you guys. But it's kind of, again, as I mentioned, my storage is begin.
That's good.
Just making my dream device alive and just playing around with it in spare time. So but now I know more people which I can ask, so it's really cool that
Yeah,
again, I'm
I
really
think
glad that that kind of stuff happens.
nice. I think it's good to you to register on Newton Talk if you haven't chance, so you can do it. It's like a mailing list. So most of the conversation we have there usually, because you can always ask for help. You can share your story, whatever. I put on the chat the web address, unna.org. It's a main, let's say, software server. It's the first place you should visit when you buy Newton. It's Morgan's server, so the old software, actually most of the software we have is from there. Yeah. So yeah, so it's really great.
That's great. True.
Andy said,
lot of stuff.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of software to check there, and a lot of interesting stuff. Andy said that he's trying to connect with his Newton with his BBS server, and I remember he asked for help because he couldn't connect his Newton with that server. So Andy, do you still have that problem? You cannot connect to that server. And what kind of software did you use? That was like a terminal, PT100, something like this. Maybe some of guys here could help him with this. Yeah, PT100. Did you try, guys, connect your Newton with kind of BBS, old-fashioned, server or something to download the software or not?
Not me.
All right. Yeah. So I think kind of technical problem, because technically if the PT100 is it's a terminal, so technically everything on the other side should respond. But sometimes, yeah. Yeah, so kind of technical problems, yeah. Cool.
I mean, the PT100, I got that working, and it works over the serial line for me, and I did some stuff with it. I haven't used it for BBS though. Yeah.
I program my Bluetooth module via that software, so it's working over the serial, yeah. So I managed to send the AT commands and make a program properly the Bluetooth dongle, so it's fine. So I think can be problem on the BBS side, yeah. I don't know, Andy. I don't know if there are other terminal apps. Matthias, do you know something except PT100? I think this is the only one. Yeah. And that one is working fine, really, with a lot of stuff. Yeah. I saw even someone managed to connect to kind of old mainframe or something like this via this, and it worked really well. So
Oh yeah, definitely. That works. I tried that too. That's great.
Yeah,
yeah.
I used to carry my Newton around and manage network switches and stuff and routers. So it
Cool.
does work
Oh,
with
cool.
BT100.
Do you still have access to that kind of devices you could connect Newton and manage with them?
Most of the new ones don't have serial ports.
Right.
They just have Ethernet connections and web interfaces that all use JavaScript and stuff like that. So yeah, it's hard. You got to spend a lot of money to have a switch with or a router with serial, like Cisco or something like that.
Yeah, kind of professional one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But then, funny enough, on the Mac, you still have the underlying Linux or Unix operating system, so you can easily connect to a modern Mac over a serial port. So it's kind of extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that part of technology didn't change since long time. Yeah, basically the terminal is everywhere. It's just as Morgan said, it's a technology which you connect with. I mean, the port is changed in a lot of things, but in the back in the Unix systems, there is everything is on terminal still. Yeah, to manage
Nice.
stuff. So it's pretty cool still. That's why it's working so well from the devices so old. Yeah.
Portfolio. That was Atari portfolio, yeah? The guy from the Terminator used to hack the ATM. That was funny. Nice.
Yeah.
Andy said he had a 2010 version of Newton and 130, but he sold them for pennies a few years back. Much to my regret, he said. I did the same years ago, Andy. I sold my previous, kind of collection of Newtons. There was a few of them actually only, but I deeply regret that. But I managed to rebuild that a few years ago. So yeah, I probably will not do the same mistake once again. Yeah, the prices on the eBay now are crazy. People selling 2000 modem for $1,500. They're trying to sell actually, yeah. So it's crazy.
Yeah, but I
Sometimes.
found on you cannot find. I mean, I found in Poland on the kind of Polish eBay Allegro. You know that probably, but it's
Yeah.
on the Polish thing. We don't have very big success with the eBay in Poland at least. So we have our own eBay, and there was one auction with the Newton, and it was P120, and it was costing 2,500 zlotys.
So it's 500,
So
$600.
almost $700. Yeah, so 600 something, whatever. Yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, so that was really crazy, and it's really tough to. I mean, it was on the one, and it was gone in the minutes. I mean, you cannot really find it in Poland. In eBay there is a lot, but there are very different prices. As you said, I found a pretty decent one, the one I purchased, but. I probably need a little more gadgets for it, but we'll see. First, I will just clean up the software there and find some interesting stuff and start to collecting the accessories.
Yeah, there is a eMate in a box, quite good setup and quite good condition. 900 pounds, so that will be over $1,000, I think, at this moment. Yeah.
Yeah, but eBay is sometimes really crazy. We have in the 70s we sold brandy, and those bottles keep popping up, and people think because it's 50 years in the bottle, it's something very special. but it's just stupid because the time in the bottle doesn't count. It's always the time in the barrel.
Barrel.
And we've seen now a lot of people calling and asking how much a bottle is worth. And then when I reply about $40, they're really usually very sad. Someone put a bottle on eBay for 14,000 euros. And it's like, is there really anyone buying this? Are people so desperate, or do they think because it has a high price they can sell it? I just assume those are people who just put tons of stuff on eBay, and out of 200 things, if one is being bought, they're already fine and better off. I guess that's what the strategy is.
I think there is a few reasons why that sometimes ridiculous prices. I think with the guys, with the vintage stuff, you can say whatever you want, yeah, the price, yeah. And
Yeah,
if someone have a resources and that person wants to have it, that person will buy it anyway, yeah. If something is unique, yeah. The other interesting thing I heard is like a lot of people using that auctions and that ridiculous prices for the not very rare stuff, but still like I don't know, a classic Mac or something for $5 or something. They use eBay as a money laundry. So no one will buy it actually. The real buyer, but they just they clean up the money by this, yes, some kind of because sometimes if you check the seller, it's quite interesting because usually it's only one or two items by the seller, and the seller is like almost completely new, have only few stars on eBay, so it's quite weird stuff. Yeah, so I could believe that theory that some people cleaning the money.
Yeah, but I have a funny story with my Macintosh Classic, because I was looking for some cabling and missing parts, and I found in near to Gdańsk when I live, I found guys which was actually cleaning up the old printer shop building.
All right.
There was there was about to demolish it, and there was a old printer, and the guys was having like I don't know, 50 Macintosh Classics in a row standing on the floor. Wow. And some of them was completely wasted. I mean, there was not running, there was broken, or there was even broken screens and that kind of stuff. But out of that, I actually picked up like two of them in the best shape. I grabbed a bunch of the cables from the floor. It was completely, they was demolishing the building, so everything was really dirty, and it was really, not looking fine. But I paid for all this stuff 200 zlotys, which is $25. I was like that was like a gold mine, because it was these guys didn't care, because next day it was just out of the building and it was just trashed down. So they completely didn't care what's in there and what's just the worth of this. So sometimes there are good stories that not everybody wants to make a fortune on the old stuff.
Yeah, that's next time, Shimon. If you will have that situation, call me. I'm gonna hire the truck to pick up everything.
Okay.
Because it's crazy. Yeah, I'm so jealous. By the way, I'm so jealous. Sometimes people from United States, today I just pick up a few things for free because someone just wants to throw it out, and the picture with the full trunk of the old Mac stuff. I wish to have that kind of chance in my life. Yeah, so great. Hi, Noah, our movie director, the best movie about the best Newton movie.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing fine, thank you. Nice to see everybody here.
Yeah.
Sorry I'm late.
You lost a good stories. You miss a good stories, really good stories.
I'm sorry. I'll watch the recording. It looks like you're recording it.
Yes, I'm recording. Yeah, so by the way, guys, the love notice to Newton is for free to watch. on a limited time now. Am I correct, Noah?
That's right. But you have to use the discount code Poutine.
All right.
So if you don't know how to spell it, you have to look it up.
Yeah, good. Good. So I'm not sure, Shimon and Andy, if you saw the movie, you need to, because this is the
No, I
yeah.
didn't.
So you need to watch it, because without this you will be expelled from the group. So
Okay.
no, it's really good movie. Noah did really great job. Cool stuff.
I was kind of hoping Mark would show up, because at our last meeting a couple of weeks ago, he posted that Einstein source code that he said still compiled for iOS, and it does. I compiled it. It's a little Newton in the big screen of my iPhone, but it works. And then I've played around with a little bit just to. I also compiled the mini VMAC on there, and mini VMAC, trying to think of the right way to put this, basically shares its documents directory so that files can see it. So it's much easier to make the ROM available to it rather than having to use iTunes. So I did a little tweaking on the Einstein code to allow it to do that as well. So now I don't have to worry about, connecting it up to iTunes to get the ROMs on there. But
I haven't followed the whole iOS development, so you can share files now. That's nice. That was not possible back then when it was written.
yeah, I think iOS 13 added that in there. So and there's a built-in files app that allows you to get access to different apps, shared space.
Finally.
Yeah, took them long enough, but it works nicely. That's
Yeah.
great that you added that.
Matthias, could you remind us the website you include your piece of brilliant work with about the Einstein and other stuff?
Messagepad.org.
Messagepad.org.
Yeah, I tried compiling yours, Matthias, but I got a bunch of errors. And when it comes to coding, I'm basically a trained monkey. Anything beyond that, beyond pushing buttons, I'm kind of lost. So.
Yeah, if you like. What did you compile it on Mac, I assume?
Yeah, I have. I'm on Catalina with
Yeah.
I don't know, new enough Xcode.
Yeah, if you like to send me the output or make a movie clip of it while it compiles or something, I can check out what's going on. I tried on messagepad.org there is in the repository there is an explanation on how to compile it, because it needs some other stuff too, like Newt 0 and at least in the last iteration. And if you go by that, hopefully it does compile.
I'll take
I
another
have to
look.
check it myself, since I said earlier I went to Windows and I found out that compiling on Windows, like, oh, the documentation was not perfect. So now when I go back to the Mac to compile the Mac version at some point, I probably have to read my old documentation and then get annoyed that I never wrote it correctly.
So could be great, Perley, if you could share, kind of maybe record a video how you did it or something.
Sure. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah, could be really great. Yeah.
Yeah, or tell me what the errors are, which error messages you're getting, then I can probably say what's missing, or maybe even the version is the wrong one. I have a tendency to not publish the last fix, and then what's online in the Git repository still has the bug in it, and my version at home is fixed, and then I wonder why nobody can compile it.
I have still working because I'm still on Mojave, so my Mojave version is working fine. So I'm not changing anything at this moment. Yeah, the only thing I want to try that is Android, version on kind of.
Yeah.
But first of all, I need to buy kind of smartphone with Android and then try it. Yeah, especially with the kind of pen I could use.
Yeah. Yeah, the Android version definitely needs a lot of love still because it's some of the stuff it makes it crash. Like when you change from vertical to horizontal, it might crash or probably
All
will
right.
crash and all these things. And I just need the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned being still on Mojave, Paolo, because I was and was not in really looking forward to upgrading. But then when I started trying to do the compiling of Mini VMAC and Einstein, it said, "Oh, you have a new enough iPhone that you need to be on Catalina to get on this new enough version of Xcode." It's like, oh
Yeah,
crap.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that Apple doing this. I mean, I can understand because they don't wanna, focus on the older version, yeah. But I think a lot of people still are on Mojave because, for example, the same situation like Matthias have when he update to Catalina and he faced a lot of problems because of this. So I decide stay with Mojave because I'm using my my Mac. Actually, it's a Hackintosh, but it's a still Mac. So it's a kind of production unit also. So I stick with Mojave because it's working fine, and I don't like Catalina at this moment. And Vixor, for me, it's still like a beta version because there's a lot of problems. I mean, it's possible to work with on this, yeah, but yeah, Mojave just give me the what I need. So I don't have at this moment very urgent need to to update. Yeah, so I stick. Probably I will upgrade, but later on. I'm gonna wait for the new version of Big Sur, and then maybe we'll see. Noah, you using your Mac as a production computer. What kind of system you have at this moment?
I just upgraded with my Hackintosh. I just upgraded it to Big Sur. So
All
I did
right.
the unthinkable, and
All right. Okay. So
some stuff
crazy
still
stuff.
works and some stuff doesn't. So.
All right. Okay. So what?
But I
is...
have the Newton development environment with Einstein and
It's working?
Basilisk too. I got that up and running finally. Yeah. So
good.
Now I have to follow the procedure to create my first Newton application. Is the next step.
Yeah.
So from Matthias's website.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something for me to do later after I, clean the house and do all my other stuff. So
nice. Good. Did you manage to fix your Basilisk, or did you use the
I did.
image
I
I sent you?
realized that. No, I realized that I had clicked on the wrong link, and instead of downloading Matthias's version of Basilisk, I downloaded somebody else's.
All right.
Which was not designed to connect properly, I guess. So.
Okay.
So I just downloaded the correct one, and it worked out right out of the box. So I was very happy. So next step.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
So I was very happy that it worked, though.
Cool. And it's very stable, I must admit, yeah, because I tried a few times and it's working fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I managed to preview on the emulation what I did, my first application, the first and only one at this moment, and it's working, yeah. So
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Basilisk is pretty amazing. Some of the source code's a bit messy, but it does work. And so, yeah. And then I had to, of course, they never had in mind to connect to Einstein. And so I had to add the communications to make it a direct link. And yeah, I'm glad it works.
It's worked really
and like
well.
Powell said, it's stable.
Yeah. It's very stable, and it's funny because that way of let's say programming, like trying to do some program application, it's way faster than even with the physical Newton, because in this case you need to have a separate device connected to the computer, you know, sending back, etc., etc. But it's working in one box, like on the screen, and you can quickly, you know, test everything and then upload on real Newton. So I think that way you did, Matthias, is really great. So yeah, awesome stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw a documentary on the first version of Unix was actually written on a teletype, and I can't for the world imagine how programming on a printer and a keyboard would work at all, and so those people must have had patience like crazy. And I think the PDP-8 and those old machines, they even just had toggle switches in front, and you would go byte by byte. Insane.
And if you make
but
one mistake, the whole program is
yeah,
wrong. Yeah. So this is crazy. Yeah.
very crazy.
Mm.
So everything that makes it easier for the developer and makes it easier to do the turnarounds of writing, testing, going back, fixing is makes life so tremendously easier.
Who here is able to program? I'm just out of curiosity.
Hands up.
Depends on your definition of able and
Yeah.
programming.
That's correct. That's correct.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah. For someone like me who's just a tinkerer, what's a good way to get into it?
No, I have an idea, but I'm not sure if Matthias will be very happy. Maybe kind of online class, Matthias, for us. I would be really happy. You can even go
Oh my God.
commercial.
Oh.
You can even go commercial. I'm happy to pay, really. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
at least you will have a money for the another bunch of, you know, boxes with the corona, yeah?
Yeah, if money could buy time, it would be really easy.
Yeah,
But
I know.
I know. What I did, I mean, I started programming really, really early. And I think the first programs I wrote in 1978. And my system was always to read other people's source code and try to figure out what they did. And then even there's this copy paste programming where you just take chunks of code from other programs and somehow stitch them together. And I think that's a nice way to learn. But yeah, if it goes in depth, then read the documentation. You can't get around that, unfortunately.
It takes time. That's the problem.
Yeah, maybe no, we could sit
This
down.
is
And
everybody's
try to,
problem.
yeah, no, maybe we could sit down a little together and try to, you know, do something. For me, it's a problem
Sure.
because the tiny I don't know how to call it. Tiny tutorial, Noah, you just include on your website. I just follow that, you know, without any problem, yeah. But my problem is like I don't have an experience with any, you know, programming structure. So if I have like a 3 books with you know, programming for Newton, but after a few pages, I just stop because I don't understand what they trying to. Yeah, I have the same. So after a few pages, I just stop because I just realized I'm trying to understand, but I don't understand what they trying to, you know, tell me in that. Yeah. So this is the problem for me. Yeah.
Well,
It's
good
probably
thing to
not the
do
easiest
is
way, yeah?
Yeah.
when you read about some new feature, try to implement it if you're interested in it. If you're not interested in it, don't even read the chapter. But if you're interested, try to implement something really simple, and that gives you a little success story that you can say, that's how the button works, and that helps you then to continue.
This is how I'm doing actually, because I just, based on your tutorials, I just discovered a few things in the, for example, that I'm not sure what's the proper name for that, but it's a graphic constructor. You can, you know, construct the, you know, elements, graphical elements on the Newton. Yeah. So I just discovered a few buttons, what they do. Yeah. But always behind, it's not only usually the, you know, user interfaces, it's everything what should be behind. So how the scripts working, the commands, whatever. Yeah. So this is the problem. Yeah. I did something like a small card with the graphics in one of my project. I even managed to successfully import kind of image and make us my own icon for the application. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, but nothing more basically. So yeah, crazy stuff. But yeah, I can understand that it's take ages. Yeah. So you need to spend a years to learn
Uh,
this. Yeah.
Well, what you have in a different programming environment, you can usually go single step through the program. You can look at the variables at runtime, and that is kind of missing, and that makes it pretty tough to learn with the Newton environment. And you can use a lot of print statements to see what your code is doing and look at the debug output, and that's really helpful. But and also Newton script, the language is sometimes well, it's forgiving in a way, but
Mm-hmm.
that's also a problem. So when you have a typo in a variable name, you'll never know. You'll just be surprised that your variable never changes because you have this stupid typo there, and you think, why does it not change? And in another language, it would tell you, oh, I don't know this variable name. Please check your writing, your spelling. And with Newton script, it's very flexible, but at the same time, pretty tough to learn.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, the idea, the user interface is the very central concept. So when you have the buttons and the user interface, the structure behind it usually goes where the button is, and so you don't have this huge back programming. You have everything usually where the user interface is too. So yeah, I don't know if I explained that right, but
That's
uh,
helpful.
yeah, with a lot of programs, you have the logic is in one part, and the user interface is somewhere completely different. And with Newton script, you have a lot in the user interface code.
Right.
Matthias, I've played around with the new toolkit available on Einstein a little bit, and it does work on Windows, which
Yeah.
I'm happy for. I can follow through some of your tutorial items. Is the debugger actually available within that ecosystem, the Einstein ecosystem, or do I need something separate in order to make use of the debugger?
Yes.
Yeah, this is it's a pretty rough sketch, like a proof of concept, and it doesn't have a debugger itself. I think, if I remember right, you can do print statements, so you can see in the console what it outputs, but you don't have a way to set breakpoints and stuff. If you want to do that, then you would really have to be with Basilisk and the original software. But even that is not working 100%. I think
Really?
Apple had to give up before this was all implemented, which
Now,
is
I've yet to be able to get the internet access through
Mhm.
Einstein on Windows. Should I be able to?
um yeah, I there's one tutorial, there's a little list in which order you have to install the
Yeah, I
packages, the
saw it.
network packages.
I remember going through the steps. It didn't work, and I got called away with something else and never got
Yeah.
back. But I'll take another stab at it.
You also have to make sure, and I don't know if I put that right, but you have to download the correct driver, and there's a naming conflict. There's an online driver for Ethernet cards that has the same name as my version of the Ethernet card driver, and you must load and install my version of the Ethernet card driver, or it won't work. I should probably change that around.
Okay.
But
But it's
but if you
it's not
follow
very
the
obvious.
if you follow everything what Matthias put on the tutorial how to install everything, that should work because I did step by step and everything's working. Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah.
The other thing I wasn't able to do was decompile a package. Should that work on Windows?
Yes. It
Okay.
should. You didn't get any code, or what did you get?
I received an error of some kind, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. maybe download the newer version now. I did some little fixes in the last
Oh,
2 weeks
okay.
ago. Um, it doesn't work with every package. Some packages are
Sure.
just yeah.
I know some of the packages have machine code in them and things like that. I mean, or native code.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
if there's it doesn't it should decompile the native code, but then it can't recompile it because the native modules doesn't really uh, understand that this pops up several times. But this is something that can be fixed and will be fixed at some point.
So as long as I'm asking questions here, I know Pavel had said that he was able to connect a Newton physical device to Wi-Fi signal. Are there? I remember Ethernet cards and modem cards from back in the day, working with Newton. But was there ever a Wi-Fi card that would work with the Newton out of the box, or is there some sort of hack you guys are using?
There's one driver you need to install on the Newton, and most of the available Wi-Fi cards, they can work with Newton, should work. For some cards, they you need to install additional, like a kind of additional package with the additional kind of portion of data for the Wi-Fi. But yeah, I have a few Newtons on the Wi-Fi and they're working. There's a bunch of, not obviously not every Wi-Fi card will work with Newton, obviously. So you need to be careful because some of them can even damage your Newton. So it's better to use. I just break one of my Newton when I test one of the
Yikes.
cards. Yeah.
Yeah, I only have one. I only have one physical device, so I'm
all right.
extremely.
So it's better to use the cards from the list. If you wanna, I'm gonna quickly check because I did kind of there is a list with the cards, but I aggregate a lot of information about this on my website. So I just create kind of tutorial how to install that card and which card you could pick up. So let me check. I'm gonna find that and I'm gonna share with you.
That'd be outstanding. And in a worst case, if I couldn't get the card to work with my current Wi-Fi network, I might have to pick up an older Wi-Fi access point and use that instead.
I mean, from my experience, because I play a lot with this, from my experience, it's better to buy a very cheap, like I said before, Apple Port Express or something like this. You can buy on eBay like a $10, $15, the old one, and create separate Wi-Fi subnetwork. What I did, for example, because if you use the older version of airport utility, not the current one, you can even adjust the power of the transmitting the signal from that. So what I did, I just reduced to 10% of the power to do not spread that signal from that only to my Newton, basically to use only with my Newton. And what I did, I just completely give up about encryption. So that Wi-Fi network is very vulnerable, but because I decrease the power, the radius of that network is like a 5 meters around. So basically it's safe on my at my home, because no one from, even if someone knock my door, cannot reach that signal with any device to sneak inside. Yeah. So yeah, I know it's not super safe, but it's safe from the physical way. Physically, no one cannot reach that signal from that network. So this is how I did, because I know some of the people use the WEP encryption, but that cause a lot of errors with the connection in my case. Some of the cards, what I can say, some of the cards working better than other. They cause less problems and less dropping the connection, because it's like Newton internet connection software is kind of glitchy for me, and sometimes just dropping the connection. But usually it's in the situation when you leave your Newton connected and you're doing nothing. Because if you do something, the connection is still, I don't know how to call it, refreshed, and it's fine. But for example, I'm using my Newtons with the NPDS server. So they working on the background, and sometimes they just, you know, freeze and I need to reboot Newton, but it's
Okay.
a normal stuff. So I just did kind of list. I'm gonna show you on the screen in a second.
Yeah, I had momentary
Well,
visions of taking my old device on a road trip and you know, connecting from work or from a restaurant or something like that, but it doesn't sound like it's quite possible.
So yeah. So
Papa, I'm sorry, I have to run. So
all
I just
right, no
wanted
problem. That was
to.
good to see you. See you
Great
next time,
meeting you
Shimon.
guys.
We are in
See you
touch.
next
Yeah.
time.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Cheers. Thanks.
So on the screen, you can see the list. I copied that list from, I think, Newton Facu. Facu is the proper way how to spell it. FAQ. Yeah.
Yep.
So I copied that list, and the green ones on the screen are which I have physically, and I test them. Yeah. Still there's a few of them I don't have. So I'm trying to find them on the eBay, but it's harder and harder, especially for the very exotic one. So this is the list of the. Usually, it's the best way is to buy something like Lucent or Rinoco, silver, gold, something like this. It's the best way. Very popular card in like a year ago was Intel Pro Wireless 2011. And that card is really, really great because working like a charm and cause less problems than the other cards, surprisingly. So this is the one. I'm gonna send you a link in a chat in a second. The another thing, it's where I put it. This is a good question. Let me try to find it very quickly. Because I put a kind of article on my website. My server is very slow at this moment. Sorry for that. Yeah, on one of the articles I made about the Wi-Fi and Newton. Is that one? Just a second. So here you have a list of all necessary software and the place you can download. And here you have a step-by-step what you should do, how to install, how to configure with the screens. Yeah, so you can check it. And there is another on the bottom in the important note. You have a few words about that stuff I said to you about the encryption, etc. And there is another short article I made about the Newton Wi-Fi cards, and so here I prepare kind of a list of the most popular cards and the kind of access points I try to test the cards. So some of the
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so some of them working like a charm, some of them working but the glitchy, blah blah blah. But if you read that 3 places later on, you will have all knowledge you need to have to you know to install everything. So I'm gonna send you that link in a second.
That's very impressive, Paul.
No,
Cool.
I remember when I bought my first Wi-Fi card and I sit down and I spent like a few days and I couldn't figure out because my knowledge was zero about this. And why it's not working? Why it's not working? So I tried to dig and, I bought more card. I bought more old airports access points and I tried to, discover which one will work perfectly. So yeah. And except Newtons, I'm collecting that Wi-Fi cards. So I have like a 50 of them at this moment. So if someone need any card, I have spare, so I can share.
Nice. So on the on the idea of using your Newton on the road with Wi-Fi, I actually have an older little cellular device, a Wi-Fi hotspot, and the older ones still have the option to turn off encryption or use the older encryption.
Nice.
So I've actually used that with my Newton.
Yeah, I think this is the
I
best
was
way.
also wondering, is there a way on, I know you can't do it on iOS, but on Android, can you do the lower encryption or no encryption when you hotspot?
I don't think so. I think they all require the higher encryption at this point, unless you had an older Android device. But then I'm not sure you could hotspot with it.
With the smartphones.
Right.
No, you need to have encryption, and for example, iPhone require minimum WPA, so not even WEP. So this is problematic, because that could be great if you could turn off the encryption, but no, there's no that kind of option. Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is the problem. Yeah.
Yep. And the hotspot I'm using currently is a Netgear Air Card, and they come in well, here in the US, there's a Sprint model and a GSM model. They're older, but it works. And you can actually get them for pretty cheap with like a limited plan. So it like has, 500 megabytes of data for a couple of bucks a month, which seems like ridiculously low data, but it's perfect for the Newton.
More than it can ever download.
Right.
Yeah.
Here in Canada,
guys,
that's still like a basic plan, basic cellular plan, 500 megabytes.
Yep.
So I think it's perfectly enough.
guys, I will have to leave in 5 minutes. If there's anything specific for Einstein, then ask now or the next time.
Yeah.
Did you already, sorry.
No, keep going.
Did you already talk about getting Einstein on e-ink devices? Is that still a goal?
That's definitely a goal. I got another device that I want to try it on. It was just really a time thing. The Christmas days. I think I told that before. We're rebuilding 4,000 square meters of crazy old buildings from the 60s, and that really keeps me busy. And I have barely any time to work on this, but I'll try to get back to it. So I'm sorry I can't give any ETA, but I'm trying to get
It's okay.
it going.
I'm just curious because it's a cool idea.
It works interesting and it works very well when it's fast enough. But that's the problem, because the e-ink devices usually have very low power CPUs.
Yeah.
Understood.
So we will wait for the new version, Matthias. Don't worry. I will
Yeah,
wait.
no pressure.
I'm super. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. Memory card reading and writing. So potentially we could use that. So that could be awesome. Yeah, but yeah, we'll wait. No worries. Yeah. So I'm trying to find, because back to the connecting Newton online, there is a kind of module called SIM 900, 800, something like this. And I saw on, I think on AliExpress or on eBay, there's a version of that module. You can put a GSM card, and you have also RS232 connector. So I'm thinking if that could, and that module emulate basically the classic, like a modem connection. So technically could be possible to use that by instead of Wi-Fi card with the Newton. Technically, we could build a module, GSM module, connected to a serial port of the Newton and connect with that module like with the normal modem, old-fashioned modem. Yeah. So I sent that module because I bought a few months ago. I sent that module to my friend Artur in Poland, that electronic magician, and he's trying to do this. But like Matthias, he's busy at this moment because he producing kind of device. He diving in the beer to measure the all stuff what happened with the beer during the making in the beer factory. So funny stuff. But yeah, technically if he will success, but he said yeah, that should be pretty straight. So technically we could have another module like a GSM module connected to Newton by the cable, and that's all. So no Wi-Fi card needed. Yeah. So but we'll see. Yeah, it's a black magic for me. So thank you very much, Matthias. See you next time.
Thanks, guys. It was great to see you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
I may send you some errors.
Sure, cool.
Right. So, Tao, you are very quiet today.
That's because I'm doing a lot of different Zoom meetings today. It's for a Grace
Multitasking.
Summit. So I've been like, of course, that's fine. I'll just have my my iPad in my Newton case over here and my laptop over here, and I'll just type and I'll talk. And now I'm about to go to another Zoom meeting, which is why I'm leaving.
All right.
Good day.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Okay, so 5 of us.
So let me just say, Noah, I saw Love Notes to Newton. Got it from your website, and it was just phenomenal. Bought a T-shirt as well.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. When did you buy the T-shirt, by the way?
It was a while back.
Did you receive it?
Oh yes.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
it's a
Just
green
making
one
sure
like
that.
yours.
Good. Making sure that I shipped it out, because I had like a little panic attack there, because sometimes the emails don't come telling me that people bought shirts. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, though.
Thanks. Yeah, I even I tried to force my wife to watch some of it, and she doesn't share my obsessions. So I don't think she shared my high opinion of the film.
To be honest, I still have to get my wife to watch it. So
really,
so it's universal. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Noah, I'm still downloading the content, but it's like I think I download the half of this. So you have a lot of stuff there. So,
there's a lot. Yeah, there's 1.7 terabytes of footage.
Yeah. So
I
think my student will have a lot of things to do, but
sure.
Yeah.
Do you want me to still send you a drive, or are you okay with just downloading it?
Yeah, I'm okay with this. Yeah, it's my server anyway working all the time, so I don't care.
And it's going slowly enough that I don't notice the bandwidth disappearing.
I just slow down to do not utilize your your connection too much.
Yeah, we have a pretty fast connection, so you can go for.
All
you
right,
could probably go a little faster if you want.
All right, okay. Yeah.
Can I ask? You're downloading the raw footage from the movie?
Yes.
Yeah. He's going to archive it for posterity.
Perfect. Awesome. I'd love to see some of it.
And also you're giving it to your students for something.
Because Noah record a lot of material he couldn't have a chance to include in the movie, especially longer version of the interviews. Am I correct, Noah? Yeah. So the idea is, but still, I think we still need to chat about this, how to properly do this. But the idea is, I have a bunch of students at my college who need to have a kind of editing, video editing experience. So what I'm doing at this moment, I'm just giving them random materials to edit. But we figure out we could save Noah's time, and I could give them that interviews to edit. So they will do their work, and that will be perfect material for them, because they need to not only, you know, just cut the stuff, but they need to let's say focus a little on the content and pick up the, you know, right moments, etc. So they will do the tasks perfectly, I think, and they will get yeah, kind of work experience because of this. And our benefit will be that we'll have much more videos to watch, yeah, technically. But yeah, I think we need to talk with Noah, because like you said before, that was the original purpose of this was for the movie, yeah. So it's better
Yeah,
to
so you
ask.
have to, before you publish anything, you just have to get permission from.
Yeah, I will not publish. I
That's the
I
only
will
thing.
wait. Yeah, I will wait. Yeah. So then maybe if we get confirmation from the interviewees, then
Yeah.
Noah will be able to publish more content, like you know, extra content for the movie or something like this. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah. So I think that will
Yeah.
be really interesting. Yeah, stuff.
Yeah. The Computer Museum in California also has a copy of all the footage. But I don't think they're doing anything at all with it. It's sitting in a vault somewhere.
All right.
And
So
nobody's
just like
watching
a copy.
it. So
Yeah.
it's, at some point, yeah. So at some point, I think that would be great if some of the stuff got out there and people could watch it.
Okay. So you will have an extra copy in case of something happened with yours. So
sure.
don't worry. Yeah, I'm not deleting. Yeah. I'm so happy with my brand new write system. So I have a plenty of space, so I can keep it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So any other topic you want to rise up, guys? Anything else we could chat about, or we should finish?
Well, I'll just briefly say that I am working on getting UNNA mirrors working. So
I'm waiting for good news.
The code is very old, so it's taking a little more work than I'd like. But yeah, I've got a few fixes that I'm working on and updating the Subversion server and stuff like that. So yeah.
Nice.
And I did send you another email. I don't know if I've got the right email address, so feel free to drop.
When did you send it?
Maybe a week ago.
Let me check, Morgan. That was I get that, but I just miss it. I just found it now. Okay.
It's still like I still got a little work to do anyway. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So to answer,
do you need
quickly,
more people? Oh, go ahead.
I want to get one working first, and then we'll be able to add more servers from there. So yeah, eventually the goal is to have a whole bunch of them, like we did back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
More is better in this case.
Yes.
So to answer on your question, yes, I have a Mac OS X server. It's let me check. It's a High Sierra at this moment version.
Cool.
But the version without, they cut out all, you know, all very important stuff. I installed the older version to have FTP, etc., etc. Yeah. So it's
nice.
Apache and it's PHP also, but I never install any additional modules. So if your system needs something extra, I'm happy to install it, but you need to tell me how.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll start working on some documentation as I troubleshoot. So yeah,
right.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a Mac OS X server, High Sierra version. Yeah. So it's
Excellent.
working. It's working fine. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah. Cool. Okay. Did I send that link about the Wi-Fi cards for you, Jamie? Yes. I sent in it's in the chat. Yeah. So you can follow that. Yeah. So when you get a proper card, it's fine. Just you need to install one driver usually. For the Orinoco cards, you need to install only the main driver and nothing more. And you just need to click two things and it's working like a charm usually. Yeah.
Thank you. My highest priority is to try and get Einstein connected to the internet
Right.
on my Windows machine.
Right.
But if I get that done, I would love to take a look at the Wi-Fi
Yeah.
card.
Yeah. Sure. What kind? Which Newton do you have?
It was a model 2000 upgraded to a 2100.
Oh, so the best one. Okay. So should work without any problem.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Should work. I broke one because I bought a kind of Intel card and I misread the symbol. And that card, because for Newtons, you need to have 5 volts version of the card, 16-bit. And I put 3.3 volt card and I just insert that card and I start the Newton. And Newton was quite smart and switch immediately off automatically. But I was not aware of this and I start, forcing Newton to work. And the third time I did it, the Newton just dead and just died.
I can't say I've ever heard a sadder story. That's so awful.
Yeah, but I have a few other Newtons and some of the other Newton users told me potentially what is broken, so I will try to fix it. Yeah, because technically that can be like a few capacitors and should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. But that was the good things about that story is I had a kind of that Newton was like looking like a completely crap from the outside, because I don't know who and what did with that Newton, but was like a scratch completely. The screen was like a really, really bad condition. So I'm not crying that much, but yeah, that it's like a testing unit. Yeah, that was like a testing unit. Yeah, so it's not that bad. Yeah. So maybe I'm gonna try to fix it. Yeah. Right. So from my side, I'm very happy that I saw you all today. Like always, if you wanna stay, feel free to stay. I'm gonna leave that session open for you if you wanna, but I will slowly heading off also. And yeah, I think see you next time, guys. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you very
I
much.
think I'm going to go
Yeah.
to.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to write my first Newton application today if I can.
Yes. You can
Nice.
call me.
We'll
You
see.
can call me later if you
Okay.
start doing something. I'm happy to follow your screen and see what you're doing.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Okay. So thanks very much and see you next time, guys. Yeah.